there's three elements really come into play. Gender equality, economic development, and a shift in attitudes are really needed to achieve the full potential of women in the workplace. What's the number one strategy that you or your company are employing to change deep-seated attitudes? Because that's probably one of the most challenging things, is to change attitudes that have been pervasive for a long, long time. So Johanne, in your role now at Tourism Toronto, you've got a great opportunity to affect change in various areas of the hospitality industry. What are you doing to advance gender and pay equality in your company?
One of the things that I've done in the past is that make sure that when you do have an opening and you work with a recruiter, that you demand that half of the candidates that you are given are women. I often get, a whole list of very, very qualified people, but they are very much look like the recruiter that I'm using, or they look like the industry that I work in. And so coming from Freeman, where it was an audiovisual, so very, very much male-dominated industry around the world, trying to change what the people are that we hire and how they look has to be very different.
We genuinely believe that the best pool of talent out there is the talent that we want to attract. So, we have taken measures, for example, on the recruitment side, to ensure that, as you say, in positions where we don't see women, we ask the question. We say, are you sure that there are no women that, applied, for example, for these types of positions? But as a whole, I think because we have a lot of functions within Air Canada that are male-dominated, like the pilot group, the maintenance groups, to see those organizations create their own networking teams. Maintenance is an ideal group under the leadership of a gentleman, who's VP of maintenance. He supported a team of women in maintenance, engineers, mechanics, to develop their own networking team within Air Canada, so they could advance within their own group. So we encourage it, we foster it, and I think the important thing is when you see something that doesn't look right, you need to intervene, you need to say something.
So Johanne, when you look back on your career, what shaped your ascent into a senior leadership role? What kind of pushed you up to that level?
I think it's probably because I had a sponsor, not a mentor, because I believe women are over-mentored. I think there's lots of mentoring that takes place, but that hasn't gotten us to the levels that we need, and what we need are more sponsors, and we need people to speak out for the women that work for them. And so I had someone in my organization at Standard Broadcasting who was very much a sponsor, even though Alan Slade, who many of you will know, he had swore to me that there was no way that a bean counter, as a chartered accountant that I was, would ever ascend into executive positions in his organization. And, I proved him wrong, but that came from having a sponsor who had the belief in me. And when I had an opportunity to move out of finance and run a warehouse, which I thought that has nothing to do with how, right side, left side of a balance sheet. And he's like, it's just managing people. It's the same thing. And so started running a warehouse and then ended up running all of Western Canada. So it's having that very strong sponsor.
So what skill set do you find women leaders are great at bringing to the table?
I bet you all know them. Multitasking. We always say we're good multitaskers. We're good nurturers. We learn how to develop people. We maintain relationships because we like growing and nurturing people. I think women are intuitive. I think that they use their guts. They just perhaps need to learn to trust that gut more often. So I think those, in the sandbox that I've had the pleasure of working with and seeing some women really do amazing things in their careers, I think that's what comes to mind. But I think what can be improved is stepping up, speaking up. So I still find that the inclination is to take direction from, and we need to be more confident in those leadership skills and ask. We're really good at closing. We're great at sales. Ask for yourself. So I think we're taught how to care for others, and we need to learn how to care for ourselves. So asking for the job, asking for the raise, negotiating the raise. Some of the men that have done really well that I've worked with, they clearly asked, and this is what I want to do. Can you help me? Here's where this is my goal. This is what I'd like to do. They're definitive. Women like to discuss, talk, think. We need to be direct.
We don't know what we own or what we are capable of doing until it's the tea bag again. We don't know how strong we are until we get into the hot water. But I will tell you that we have an incredible ability to compartmentalize and to be present in the moment 100% wherever you are.